I recorded the intro and I didn't press record on the audio. I'm so pissed off right now. These intros are tough for me to do. There's something about it that feels like an obligation. And if I'm not feeling it, I just sometimes don't want to do it. My mom's texting me.
Hello?
Hey, Ma.
Hi.
I just recorded my intro for this week's podcast, and
Yes.
It was so good and easy, and I just did it quick. And then when I took my headphones off, I saw that I didn't press record.
Oh, my God.
I just was talking about how I was home for a couple of weeks with Betty. I did some fun jokes, how I said how I flew in to Cleveland, and boy, my arms are tired, and she flew in from London, and her arms were tired, and I don't want to do it again. So
But you can do it again.
What makes you
It
think?
was like I typed a really long text to all these girls in L.A. It took me forever with pictures and diagrams, and then I realized it lost. I lost the whole thing. I had to do it over. I wanted to cry, but I did it.
Why did you send them diagrams?
There's pictures and different fun things. I invited 9 girls from Glendale to come out in February for a winter wonderland with me.
That's sweet. All right. Well, thanks for the motivation. I'm gonna.
No, just do it because the second one will be better. That's the way it works. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Bye.
Love you. Bye. All right. Here we go. What's up, Glassman Boppers? I don't want to do this again. One line that I do remember that I did was I said, all right, I'm going to keep this short and sweet like my next guest, Betsy Sodaro. I thought that was clever of me. I met Betsy at the Upright Citizens Brigade. She's so funny and so sweet. She probably makes me laugh more than any other improviser I've ever seen. You know what? I don't want to say more than, but I will say equal to. Seeing, what's his name? Thomas Middleditch perform improv live was fucking nuts. Yeah, I was blown away by Thomas Middleditch. I got to get him on the podcast. Thomas Middleditch and Betsy. Maybe there's other people. I don't know. I know I could just say she's the best. It doesn't matter. But I just want to be completely honest. My girlfriend texted me today and just like sweetly and casually and flirtatiously asked if she's the prettiest girl in the world. And I said top 10. Betty, I know you're watching this. You're the prettiest girl I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, you're number 1. But just say the prettiest. Man, I have such a hard time with that kind of stuff. My first intro was so much cleaner than this. What the fuck am I even talking about? Anyway, Betsy is hysterical, and she is at UCB. If you live in Southern California and you want to see top-notch improv, check out the Bangarang group. She's in it. She's unbelievable. How it works is usually they have a guest come on and tell a couple of stories, and then they improvise off those stories. So I came in as the guest monologist. I told some stories, and while I'm sitting there watching, I'm thinking to myself, I need to get Betsy on the podcast. Then when we were leaving, my girlfriend said, you got to get Betsy on the podcast. She was at the show, and I said, for those of you who are listening and not watching on YouTube, I put my hands up and I was like, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Oh, I forgot. So starting the 23rd, so 2 weeks from today, I have a special episode coming out. And with that, I want to try the YouTube premiere. I've never done that before. I don't know if you guys have ever done this. If you're listening to this, not watching on YouTube, disregard. But if you're a YouTube watcher, I want you guys to watch this premiere. Monday the 23rd, if you would watch it, leave a comment, say that I'll watch it, give a yay or a nay. I'm curious of who uses this. But I'm going to watch along with everybody and we could all talk with each other. And again, I've never done this, but I'm excited to try it out, see what it's all about. Am I recording this? And you know the drill. Press subscribe. All right? I'm not asking for donations. I'm not even asking you to make me some fan art. But I am asking you to press the subscribe button, click that bell, and just scoot too. Bubbly blue, baby. Yeah?
Yes. I love it.
My girlfriend suggested taking pictures of guests, and I'm mad I didn't do it from the beginning. But I'm having everybody sign them.
I love that.
Isn't that cool?
That's so awesome.
I know.
Those are so cool.
I know.
Oh, that's
Very excited about
awesome. Oh yeah.
How does it sound for you? Do you want to use headphones?
I don't like to, if that's okay, but I don't mind doing it.
I'm really happy with how this podcast is turning.
Yeah, that's great.
And just sucks you're not wearing the headphones.
I can. I will.
No.
I will. No. I'll scream the whole time.
Yeah. So tell me. Wait. Hello. Do you hear me? Okay.
You sound great.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah!
How do I sound?
You sound
Do I sound perfect?
You sound perfect.
Okay.
I
Is this
just,
good?
I
Do you
don't,
want me
now I
closer?
sound perfect.
Okay, now you sound
No,
perfect.
we sound
We
perfect.
sound perfect together.
Let me have you lower this a
Yes.
little so you're not covering.
Yes, okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I start
Are
off.
you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I like to start off every podcast by asking my guest,
Yeah.
our guest,
Yes.
to sing their favorite song. So just,
Oh my
just a
God.
lick of it, whatever you could do.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay, ready? I have two that I'm trying to figure out which ones.
Do you mean figure out how they go, or which one is
no,
your favorite?
which one is my favorite? Okay,
Well, we could
I'll
have- we
pick
could have the
one that
audience-
people will know
Okay.
more of, I think.
Don't say which one is your favorite. I'd like the audience to decide what their favorite is, so
Oh.
maybe that could help you.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll do my two favorite ones. But this is a nightmare for anybody because I am not a singer. Okay.
How do you know without wearing the headphones? Do you maybe want
That's
to wear them
why
for
I
the-
don't wear the headphones because I know I'm not a singer. Okay. I wanna run away. I wanna run away.
Okay, what's the other one?
We found love in a hopeless place.
All right, that
We
was.
found love in a hopeless place. Little Rihanna action.
I don't know either of them.
You know, I feel you've got to know we found love in a hopeless place.
Maybe if I heard
Yeah,
heard
I
it
feel
differently.
yeah, probably. I feel I'm not doing either of them justice.
But you were about to play it with the keys, maybe.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes,
It
Rihanna.
was huge. Yeah, Rihanna, Calvin Harris, I think.
Yeah, I think that's who it was. Yeah,
something-
it was like 2000.
Yeah,
2000.
you know, I think it was 2011
11.
because I remember at that New Year's party they played that song when it turned to 2012,
Okay, see.
and I lost my mind because it's the best song.
Oh.
so it's great.
You referred to it 2011 New Year's party, but wouldn't that be a 2012 New Year's party?
Yes,
Are you sure? Because I have thought about this when I posted.
I'd never thought about it. So 2011 going into 2012.
Right.
So it's a 2012 party.
Yeah, even though most of the party is probably during 2011, the
Yeah.
party is celebrating.
2012.
Or is it celebrating the year that has passed, which was 2011? So leave some comments in the thread. Let
Let
me
us
know,
know.
if December 31st, 2011 is that a 2011 party or a 2012 party?
I've never thought about that.
I never know when to use this, but tell me if I'm using this right. Small world.
I don't know if that's correct.
Well-
I mean, I guess maybe that we're both thinking that.
Do you think that the world is smaller or bigger at a given time when some type of personal coincidence isn't happening? Why do we save small world? And also, why do we save nice to meet you? Or rather, why do we reserve a nice to meet you just for the first time? As if it's not nice to meet you still.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind.
Would you say I'm blowing your mind more or less than Rihanna
Oh my
in
God.
2011 or 2012?
Less. Sorry. That song really blew my mind.
Sure.
I love it so much. It's a song where I'm like, okay, when I die, that's playing on repeat.
Question, could we cut to a clip of you laying down dead to this song?
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back.
Okay. I'm alive! Ah! Zombie! And we're back. That was a little morbid. May I do something a little bit lighter hearted for you?
Yeah.
Okay. We found love in a hopeless place.
At that, yeah, that was way better.
That was way better.
Yeah.
That was way better.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Isn't it?
I do know it now.
You absolutely do.
Before you did that,
Yeah.
I didn't know it, but now that here we are,
Now you know it, and it's your favorite song. What a small world.
yeah, which incidentally is my least favorite ride at Disneyland.
Yeah, I don't need to ever go on it.
Just went on almost all the rides. My mom wanted to go on that one. Didn't
Yeah.
do that one.
It sucks. It's creepy. It sucks. It's long.
Uh-huh.
It's boring. Because it's just the same thing over and over again.
How do you feel about the Carrots of the carrots.
The carrots of the
How do you feel
Caribbean.
about? No, I was gonna say, how do you feel about the carrots that they have outside
Oh.
the Small World and the kebabs? No, Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's like they had carrots on kebabs. What? I like pirates.
Pirates it's a small world, but with a little edge. Agreed?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
a little bit more fun of a like kind of a story.
Did you know that originally,
Oh shh.
pirates they used actual skeletons from cadavers. in there,
Really?
and when they updated, they got rid of it, but they left one skull.
I've heard about the skull in the bed, but I didn't know they had used.
Wait, but don't that much. A little bit, because you don't have the headphones.
Oh yeah, you can't.
You
hear.
heard about what? Not too loud.
I heard about. Is it the skull in the bed?
I think it's I think it's in skull in a bed a headboard.
Yeah.
Of a bed. Yeah.
I've heard about that. I didn't know they used cadaver bodies.
I don't
skeletons.
know. See, I don't know what cadaver means. I don't know if a cadaver is specifically for medical use, but a dead body is a
Yeah.
dead body, and if I said it once,
Yeah.
I've said it a few times.
You say it all the time.
Well, I
dead
try to
body
not
is a
say it
dead
as much
body.
anymore. Betsy, we I don't know how long we've known each other, but
Yeah.
we don't know each other well.
Yeah, we haven't had a proper sit and hang out. It's a lot of passing and like, hi, good to see you.
Yes.
Hang out real quick, do a show or something, and then
Yes.
move on.
The majority of my memory of it has all been at UCB. And
Me too.
And have you been part of the same troupe the entire time? Bangarang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
'Cause I've done that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, you've
now.
done it a couple of times.
So I did it recently, and I've always you're hilarious, and
Thank you.
You're welcome. But it's not like I realized you were hilarious then. I just now have a podcast, right?
Yeah.
And I'm doing the show with you. And before even the show, in the green room, for those of you, for whatever reason, if you listen to comedy podcasts and you don't know what UCB is, it's Upright Citizens Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what would you do a 10-second pitch on it?
Pretty, oh God, just like a.
Perfect.
Yep, there it is. In New York and LA.
It's improv.
Yeah, improv sketch.
It's the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do it weekly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm doing that with you, and I used to do improv. When I first started comedy 10 years ago in LA, I was doing stand-up and improv.
Yeah.
Improv I loved it so much, but it was tough because there's so many moving parts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you need people you want to work with.
And they
To
need
do
to
it.
they need to show up.
And they need to show it really is a big commitment and stuff. And I feel if you are also like, oh, I really like stand up, you do a lot of times have to pick.
It's just very time consuming,
Yeah.
right?
Both are. If you really want to work on it, it's like you got to put in, what is that, 10,000 hours to be
Yeah.
good at something?
Did you make a face because that's a cliche?
Yeah, isn't
Yeah,
it
but I
a
think
book
that's- I
or
mean, I don't-
something?
Yeah, it's incidentally one of the few that I like the movie better, but the book is funny. The thing about improv, I'm sure still is, but when I was doing it, the reason why I felt it was much more obstacle than stand-up is not only do I have to have a troupe that I want to work with that wants to do it and commits to it and shows up and doesn't cancel, we also have to do shows. And when you're first starting out in stand-up, it's kind of easier to get on shows because there are bad stand-up shows in front of an audience of 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
But with improv, you kind of have to be part of a company or really hustle and bring an audience in.
Yeah, and I feel right as I was getting into improv, a bunch of like indie shows were popping up, which are
Indie
kind of like
improv shows?
Yeah, indie improv shows where it's just kind of a team would rent out a theater for the night and then book it for like 4 hours worth of improv, and you would just hope to get on that. And so that was a big lesson because I did that for like 2 years before I got on UCB.
That's so not that long of a time.
Yeah.
It took you 2 years of doing improv to get on a house team?
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you move
Yeah.
out here? 2007?
2008.
2008. And then you started taking classes at UCB?
Yeah. That was kind of my goal moving out here. I was like, oh, I hear UCB is the best.
Where are you from?
Colorado?
Colorado.
Yeah.
You studied theater
I did. Yes.
and you graduated 4-year program?
Yes. At The name changed now. I swear, it became a university, and I think it's now Western State University of Colorado.
WSUC.
I think so, but it was Western State College,
Yeah.
and people called it Wasted State, man.
So you studied theater at Wasted State.
Yeah.
Were you a Wasted Stater?
Wasted Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, whatever.
Tell me, go on.
Fucked up Friday, shit face Saturday, sober Sunday, mangled Monday, and tipsy Tuesday.
So every day but Sunday, you guys, that's crazy that they became a university.
Sometimes on Sundays.
Yeah? What would that be called if you weren't sober Sundays?
Slammed Sundays.
This is how you got on a house team in 2 years. This was the
Slowly
interview.
just thinking of adjectives for drunk. Those are adjectives, right? Descriptions?
Verbs?
Or
No.
other words for being drunk?
Yeah.
Homonyms? Synonyms?
No, homonyms are
Cinnamon?
cinnamon. Homonyms. Homophone is when a word sounds the same, like two and two are homophones.
Okay.
A homonym, I think, is when you bend a girl over the bed and when you don't know her that well, or something like that, or guy. And then whatever the bullshit I'm going to make up that's not going to be worth it.
That's not at all correct.
So you studied theater. So that means you're 20. When do you graduate? You graduated 21 or 22 ish.
22.
Was that the plan to move to LA right away?
No, I actually went. This is just kind of random. I auditioned for a comedy theater up in Sacramento because I was scared of LA. I was scared of LA and New York. I didn't want to go, and I got on.
Scared because of what? So many people move here to do entertainment.
Big city and and
You're
just
scared
kind
it's
of
a big city.
Yeah, because Colorado. I was very much just like, I don't know if I can handle LA, or I knew I didn't like New York. I went to one semester of college in New York and I hated it so much. Just the city's too much for me. Mm-hmm. I hate it so much.
I love New York.
Yeah, I can't handle it. I like it for like 3 days, and then on that 4th day I'm just like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have a sister who lives there, so I gotta go there and visit.
Yeah, but you go for 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that when you moved out here, you were gonna was it comedy? Was it acting? Was it also, before I even go on, if people don't know you or haven't seen you perform, I struggle with this sometimes when I have certain guests on that are so funny, but if the audience doesn't know them, it's like, let me show you something real quick.
Oh yeah.
But improv, there really isn't. I would love if there was. I wish we taped the show that we did.
Oh, yeah,
and I could
yeah.
just show a little something. I don't know if I'm gonna have anything, but if I find something, I'm gonna cut to it right now. If you're looking for just the right flooring, you need choices. And at Marshall Carpet One, you'll certainly find them.
Ooh, beautiful.
That was hysterical. Or I couldn't find anything, so I put in a commercial.
That's great.
Okay?
That's great. Yep.
Okay,
perfect.
Good. And this is for the audience, not for you. Maybe this is weird. Maybe it's the coffee that I have going on. But you're one of the funniest people ever.
Oh my God,
it's
thank
crazy.
you.
It's crazy how, and I was kind of saying it before and I didn't, before the show started in the green room, when you came in, and I don't know you that well, but I'm thinking you came in not being funny. You're just saying hello. But there's the energy of it was a coffee for me. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I want to play with this.
Oh,
I want to play with you.
Okay, cool.
And then you go on and just, fuck, man.
Oh,
You're just
thank you.
monstered it. And my girlfriend was there at the show, and she said right when we got off, you got to ask her to do the podcast. And I was already thinking,
awesome.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But we're both, I texted her just now that you were on your way, and she said she's jealous. She really wanted to meet you.
Oh my God.
Although you met, but
yeah,
kick
is
it.
she in England?
She is.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice memory.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice
I
memory.
thought that was a really lovely story. I'm glad you guys are
Thank you.
doing good.
Thank you. We're going to really quick cut to a clip of you dancing to Rihanna again.
Okay.
Okay, so you are in you were in Sacramento doing a
Yes.
theater company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, doing improv and sketch, and because I never really did it in college, but I became I was always super into sketch comedy, And then I remember Second City came to my school, my college. And
The touring company.
Yeah, the touring
Performers.
company. And
Anybody in
I was just
that you remember?
You know, I thought maybe Becky Drysdale had been in there, but I think I asked her and she couldn't recall or so, which is fair enough because it's like, oh yeah, I've done tours where it's just like, I don't know. I was there. I was. Okay, great. But I remember seeing it and I've always in my mind been like, I want to do SNL. And then I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, that's where a lot of people from SNL have done stuff at. Holy shit, I want to do that. And my college...
That is sketch.
Sketch and improv, because they did both in the show, where they would do sketches and then like improv at the end of the show. And I was just like,
Were you doing comedy theater or were you just doing theater?
I was doing theater, but I would always get like the comedic roles. Yeah. And I was obsessed with comedy. And yeah, so I saw that and then I was just like, oh, I need to do that. That's what I want to do.
What'd you see? What'd you see that I need to do that? Did you?
I can't remember. Just like I think how affected I was by it.
You were laughing a lot.
I was laughing so hard and I was so blown away, especially during the improv when I was like, wait, they're making this shit up right now?
Did you think you could do it when you watched it?
Yeah.
You're like, this is something that's my skill set and I want to get good at it.
Because it's like, oh, I think like this. Like, I think in that world, like, because I've grown up just making jokes and acting out, just pretending. And it was very much just like, oh, to me, making a joke is like, oh, if this, then what else does that mean in this world?
You're saying that's how it always was. You're saying like you lived a yes and lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're watching people do it.
That's fun. Let's follow that and like just hanging out with friends. Let's blow that world out.
So how many years from you seeing that Second City show until you graduated?
2.5 or 3. I think I saw it when I was a sophomore. So like 3 years or whatever. And it was just like I was reading any book I could find on improv.
Like
and
what improv books are you reading?
Oh my God.
Do you remember anything you learned from a book?
I read like Truth and Comedy. I read, what did I read? I just, anything and everything. Pretty much just like, what did I learn? Oh, don't treat your audience like they're idiots.
Could you elaborate on that?
Of playing to your highest intelligence and like trusting that the audience will get your move or whatever.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying. I think that could mean something different to everybody.
Absolutely.
And I would love if you could give me some example.
Okay.
Like, well, let me tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Playing to the top of your intelligence, I think, is a great default to have. But that doesn't mean you can't play a stupid character.
No, and in that means like in your character's mind.
Right.
Like whatever. Like if you're the straight man, a lot of times you usually play essentially yourself in the situation, you know? Like let's say you come in and you're like, hey, it's me, the priest with anger problems or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm definitely the straight man. So I got to just fuel you with stuff. I'll pretty much play myself.
Right.
Even if I'm labeled something, even if I'm labeled another priest or whatever, I'll in my mind be like, okay, what would I do in this situation?
And do you try to call upon I know this about religion, about priests, about...
Yeah, what are some specifics that I can give? Yeah, and try to play to the top of my intelligence. And then same with you as that priest of being like, okay, I am a priest, what would I know?
Now, how is that treating the audience like they're not dumb?
They're actually two kind of different things.
Explain that. Give me some examples of that one.
For me, it was also more just attitude-wise of not just and don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'll be like, guys, audience, that was funny, or I'm like, guys, that was very funny. But just pretty much thinking that, oh, I don't ever have to dumb down anything. Like the audience will get it. At the very least, somebody will get it.
Ironically, I really want an example. Like
I know, I'm trying
like an example of here's where the audience is going to get it. And if I didn't trust that the audience was smart, I would have then done this instead. Give me a bad example.
I'm trying to even think of one of how to explain this. I feel I need to like read from a book. Like I don't even think the books gave examples. It was just like
I want to tell you why this is such an interesting thing to me. It's because with my stand-up, where I've struggled the most, and I think I've gotten actually good at it, but I also may have not gotten good at it. Is I love doing the thing that I do, which for the first 8-9 years, people thought I was fucking with them. And my intention was to do what I'm doing. I want you to know what I'm doing.
Yes.
I would often be compared to Andy Kaufman, where my intention is, no, I want you to know I'm joking.
Yeah, I'm in on this.
Yes. So for a while, I didn't even know they didn't know I was joking. Then I realized they were. But the problem was, if I go up, bad version, if I go up and I'm a guy, they introduce me as, this guy's never done stand-up. He's around comedy clubs all the time. He's funny. He's nice. He's terrified. He wouldn't do it. I'm bringing him up now. We got a packed house. Let him do 5 minutes.
Yes.
Now, if I go up there, and the situation's fun to play in.
Yeah.
And if... You know, and I'm nervous and I don't realize how bright everything is. And my hands are shaking a little bit. People are like, that's great because now they're like empathizing with me. Like they're rooting for me. And that's a fun environment to play in. If there's never a release where the entire time they just thought, oh, that was his first time, that's fun for me.
Yeah.
And to play in that and to make them believe that. But they're not in on it, right?
Right.
But
which then lets it hit harder for them when they are in on it.
But I can't tell them beforehand, by the way, I've done this. So it's basically letting them know what I'm doing without telling them, without winking to them.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it.
But for a while, I would, and I've done that example, but that's just, I've done this in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I get off stage and people think that what I was real. And it's like, fuck, man. If I treat them where they are going to get what it is, then they're not. I have to tell them.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line.
It's such a fine line, especially in instances like that. Like whenever it's that kind of like Andy Kaufman-esque.
Yes.
That's such a fine, incredible line to be able to walk.
And the goal is to have them discover it.
Yes.
And have it be earned.
And then it... Yeah.
Like
and
make them believe
it
something.
Hits really hard. Yeah.
And that's the funnest stuff about the inverse of that, where the audience is always in on it. And improv is, that's just recontextualizing something that already existed.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you guys go out there and then you're doing something and then someone adds something to it. Oh, not that moment of now we're all playing the game.
Yes. Of like, oh, I get what's going on.
But you have to, in improv, it's calling out the unusual thing.
Yes.
That's calling it out. You trust the audience gets it.
Yes.
But what if you don't call it out? Could they still get it? And that's what stand-up is to me.
Yeah. And yes, but once again, it's like, rather than straight up saying the label, which I'm always for, straight up calling out saying, you are acting this way or whatever it might be. And I feel like, because Bangarang, we've played so long together, and a lot of people who I play with, we know how each other thinks.
So much. It was so cool to watch.
We're able to be like, okay, we don't have to straight up say what the unusual thing is, but we will all jump in and make moves to help not help, but to show the audience even more of like, oh, okay.
Right.
That's what we're all...
Do you think it takes the audience a little bit longer to know what the game is because you guys didn't call it out?
Well, I think in saying it in terms like that, yes, but they laugh. So in their laughter, their gut reaction a lot of times is like, wait, that's unusual.
Yeah.
And that's what fuels us a lot of the times is like hearing that first big laugh is like...
So this is where we're going now.
Yeah.
You're almost...
They like that.
You're letting the audience almost choose.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Right.
But when pulling from like your stories and stuff where they're just such good premises and just nuggets of gold, it's immediately like, here's this thing and we're all on board. And the audience too being like, I remember laughing at that in the story. Like when you're telling your stories, we listen for those big laughing moments and we're like, boom,
Start a scene
that's
with that.
an idea.
So, so the way that the format works is they have a guest come on and do a monologue for a few minutes, talk about whatever, and then you guys draw from that story. And that's, I mean, this isn't a realization, but like just thinking now, a huge difference between stand-up and improv, where the audience, excuse me, the audience for an improv show is going to watch scenes.
Yes.
It's almost like going to a movie. We know that these characters aren't real. And stand-up, generally speaking, this is the person.
Yeah.
Even if they're doing jokes and act-outs, this is their truth.
Yeah.
So, and also in improv, you have the luxury of, if a character doesn't work,
we could bail.
Yeah, you could bail.
So quick. Like, stand-up scares me for all
Scares
of those
the shit out of me,
things.
man.
Yeah. It's so scary. And so just you're on your own. And yeah, whereas improv is like, great, we can bail on a scene immediately if we want.
There's nothing better to me than improv when it's in the pocket.
Yeah.
Being part of it when I have the smallest amount, but watching it, it's just because it's sports. You're watching a team pass the ball around and do this thing that's incredible. And I love it. I love it so much. And I stepped away from it for a while.
Yeah.
And when I come back into it every now and then, like I did with you guys for a second, it's like in my head, I'm an amazing basketball player. And then when I don't play for a while, it goes away, man.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
It's wild. Because it is such a muscle you work.
It's such a muscle.
Constantly.
Do you feel that? Do you step away sometimes?
Yeah.
How long is a step away?
I was gone for over a month this summer, like on a vacation and then work. And it was wild coming back. Unfortunately, like while I was working, it was shooting a movie, so I got to improvise.
What's the movie?
But it's called Golden Arm, starring me and Mary Holland.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Can you give it a quick what it's about?
Yeah, it's pretty much a buddy comedy set in the world of women's arm wrestling. Like, I'm a really good arm wrestler, but I mess up my arm. So I get my best friend,
and you train her,
Mary, to become a
Did you go through, it sounds like because you realize
shit, I just fucking spoiled
you know what I might do? I'll bleep out I'll bleep out champion, even though you're gonna know now, and I'll bleep out or not, and then I'll put up under it after the bleeps in about 20 seconds. There will be a spoiler alert.
So pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blast. Mary Holland's the best. Maureen Barucha directed it. Do you know her? She's awesome.
What has she directed?
She used to work on Kimmel, like directing the sketches and stuff. Yeah, and then some Lifetime movies.
Did you do some Kimmel sketches?
I never did.
I was going to cut to a clip.
Shit, I never did.
Well, I might cut now because I might start doing advertising. I haven't done them yet, but I think I'm starting advertisement soon.
Cool.
So I'll use this opportunity to cut to a commercial or something. And if I don't have an advertisement yet, we'll figure something out.
Okay, perfect.
So make the right choice and visit Marshall Carpet One and Rug Gallery. And we promise, with more than 50 years as a family-owned business, we've got you covered.
And we're back. That looks like a great product.
Or
that's a great clip.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Dude, podcasting, man, you know? I've said a few times on here that I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't really know how to do it.
I feel you're doing it.
Thank you.
Right and proper and way more than I do. Like, I have 2 podcasts.
Oh, do you?
They're very sloppy, but I love it.
Do you do video?
No.
What are the names of your podcasts?
We Love Trash. Me and Mono Gapian just talk about all things trashy, like junk food, movies, people, all of that stuff. The big three. And then A Funny Feeling, where me and Marcy Jarro talk to comedians and actors and friends about their paranormal experiences. Do you have any? We'll get you on.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I share an apartment with a ghost for a few weeks.
Jesus Christ! There you go.
But no, I don't know. It's also it's his business or hers. I couldn't tell you guys because it's private.
Yeah.
Do you do that weekly?
We'll like bank up because
But I'm saying, do they come out weekly?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So you have 2 podcasts coming out a week. The reason I brought up how I've said how I don't know how to do this is because my co-producer George has told me numerous times, stop saying that. Not because like Rick, talk to yourself better, but because he feels people don't want to hear you thinking you don't. And I don't know if I connect with that too much, but I do remember it.
Yeah.
But here I am like thinking like when I'm doing advertisements, am I supposed to be reading it? I want to film fucking commercials. You know what I mean?
Yes.
For dick pills or
That
weed or
would
whatever
be
I'm supposed to do.
awesome. That would be awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
And especially because the video aspect of this podcast is such a big part of it.
Yeah.
Why not?
That would be so fun.
But I literally don't have a product, let alone
Okay.
thinking Wayne's World right now. Do you know what I'm thinking about?
Let alone a gun rack.
Yeah.
An entire rack.
That would
to
necessitate,
yeah.
Dude, I'm fucking ripped up with this coffee.
What is it?
Just coffee. It gets me.
Classic cold brew?
CCB. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Do you drink coffee?
No, because it destroys me on every level.
Stomach
bad, anxious bad. It's all like I'll even if I get it this close, I'll like shit my pants and have a panic attack.
Oh, that
so
sucks. Not worth it.
I can't get behind it.
Do you drink?
Yes.
Do you smoke marijuana?
Yes.
I want to smoke. I want to have you back sometime and smoke with you.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of sometimes I can freak out, but this is a perfect situation.
You're being sarcastic, right?
Yeah. No, but I'll do it. It'll
Yeah.
be fun.
I've smoked with a few people on here.
Yeah.
I don't smoke anymore much. I just do edibles because it hurts my throat. But you have to prep that because it takes like 40 minutes to kick in.
Yeah. I'm not a big smoker, so it doesn't take me long. Like, I could do like a hit or two and just be like, whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that
We're cruising, man.
Is that how you?
Yeah, isn't that how you you cruise?
No.
Come on, man.
Maybe in the 90s.
Okay.
If you were to go now that your Colorado University switched to university, they probably are drinking less and smoking weed more. So what would the days of the week be now that they're smoking weed?
Oh, okay. Munchies Monday.
I would think Taco Tuesday would be fair.
I guess they're all food. Taco Tuesday. A wiped out Wednesday.
Okay. Weed Wednesday was low hanging fruit. I like. No. You treated your audience.
Marijuana Monday. Fuck. Yeah. Nope. Wiped out Wednesday.
I like that better.
The Ganj Thursday. Fried Friday.
Yeah. I like how when you're thinking of it, you're you, and then when you say it, it's and then you.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of an S one. I was thinking. I mean, mine are so bad. I'm thinking like super baked Saturday.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but yours are real like weed words. They're not just like things that that'll pass.
That'll do. We'll think of a better one.
You need two S's.
I know. Shit.
Squints.
I mean, smoked out Saturday.
Right.
And then, what is it?
We'll be right back.
Believe it or not, there's not a whole lot of research on the effects of cannabis on the brain.
I don't know if we cut to anything, so you got to think of something fast. Tell me when you got it, and I'm going to snap.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah. Starry-eyed Sunday.
Hey, not bad. Not bad at all.
Thank you.
Or would you say baked you? Oh, fuck me, man. You know what? When somebody is good at puns, it's I don't know if this is true, but it might be intimidating to me.
Oh my God. I feel it is a little to me. I have a friend who is just constantly like anything you say will have a pun, and it blows my mind where it's like, oh, that's just how your brain constantly thinks. Is anything that is said, he'll turn it into something. I'm trying to think of like.
I have a character that I've been really working on. He's a guy that loves puns.
Yes.
And hears them all the time and just gets why people are laughing at him, but he doesn't really know what they are or how to do them. So I guess you could say he thinks they're very funny. Do you know what I mean? Or should I say, do you know what I'm saying? So it's like that kind of thing. I love the pun cadence.
Love it.
Love
I
it, pun
love
cadence.
it. I do too. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, so for the rest of this podcast, if there's
Just
ever an
puns.
opportunity, do you want to play a little, like, that would actually be a real one. I was going to use tune. Dude, am I talking too fast?
No, you're doing great. How are you feeling good?
I always have a hard time knowing the difference between me having a good time with somebody and making a good product.
Oh, okay.
And I know I'm
think
having a good time.
Then that's all that matters. That's a good product
Mom.
then. Okay, honey? Listen, if you're having fun, they're having fun. I'm having fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You're doing great.
Do you want to do an improv scene with me?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we do it now or do we fall into it? Ow!
Oh. Jeremiah, Jeremiah, I told you.
Yeah, I know.
I
just
told
keep picking.
Yeah. Quit picking at your toe.
Okay.
Okay? First of all, it's going to get infected. But also, it really grosses me out.
Yeah, I know, but the clippers don't work well.
Let's go get you some new clippers, Jeremiah.
Okay.
Okay? Right now, let's go. Put your shoes on. Put your shoes on or you're going to have more foot problems.
Okay, all right.
Jeremiah, please.
That'll do.
And see.
That'll do. I tell you, I used to be great.
I think you've got it. You've got it. And I love your emergency mustache.
Thank you.
Your on-call mustache.
OCM.
It's a good must.
It's a good mustache. These are $5 a pop.
Where?
Anywhere you get them.
Anywhere.
Yeah, it's just costume shops.
Okay.
I shout out to Oz. No, which one do I
Ozzy
use?
Dots?
No, there's one. The Hollywood
Toy and Costume. That place is great.
I should try to get them as a sponsor.
You absolutely should. And get cool wigs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, that would be a great fit. Mm-hmm. So I use a mustache in my act.
Oh, good. My yak.
When people say, I would love to come see your act. I like, my act.
My act. Okay, I got a good act.
So I use mustaches. Also,
Good.
I've talked about my mustaches on the podcast before. So, this is the mustache podcast
And now we've seen it.
So I use it in my act, and I would throw it away every time because the sticky doesn't when you put it back on.
Oh, yeah.
And then I had Taron Killam on as a guest, and from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So he's the mustache capital of the
Oh,
world.
my God.
And he just turned me on to what is obvious now. They have mustache tape.
Yeah.
So I've used this mustache, this particular one, 50 times.
It's the best.
Yeah.
And you just put it right back in his little case or whatever.
I don't have a case for it. I should get a mustache kit.
Rick,
Okay.
you got to get a fucking case for it.
Go on.
Okay? You got to protect that shit.
Explain to me the benefits of a case.
Are you kidding me? You can you don't have to worry about smushing your mustache. You can always keep it clean because they're that thick. So you could just, as soon as you're done, put it in that case. You could throw it anywhere and it'll be fine.
You're telling me that I could use my mustache,
Yeah.
and then put it in its case, and then I don't have to worry about it getting dirty
You
or
don't have to-
smushed?
water could fall on that case and it wouldn't even fucking touch your mustache.
Now, let's say for example,
Yeah.
I lose my case, or I don't have my case that particular night, and my mustache does get a little. Where would I go to get another one at an affordable price?
Hollywood Toy and Costume, dude.
Do you have
I
a shop
think you
there?
get a case with your mustache. I have, yeah, a bunch.
It's a cool
I used
shop.
to do sketch a lot, and so I was going there
Do you think
all the time.
Okay, yeah, I want to get into that. So, I don't know if you take this as a good thing or a bad thing, but I have to imagine you've been compared to Chris Farley before.
Yeah, I take it as a good thing.
Great.
He's
great.
my favorite.
I just know some people don't like being compared, not necessarily him.
yeah.
He is I think he's the funniest person that ever lived.
He's unbelievable.
But he is big, man.
Yes.
Everything. And then sketch, out of all the comedic art forms, there is nothing broader and bigger than sketch comedy.
Yeah.
And that's why when it doesn't work, it's like Jesus. And when it does,
Oh my God.
it's oddly brilliant.
Yeah.
That these wigs
Yes.
and the voices are brilliant.
And I've done so many sketches that don't work, and it's humiliating. You just being in this outrageous wig with huge glasses and not getting a single laugh for 4 minutes. It's the worst.
Yeah, because sketch you can't bail. It's written, so you got to
you cannot bail.
Do you have any stories of any sketches that were not going well that you just had to sweat through?
There was one that in rehearsal, killed. And the premise of it was I was playing that person at Starbucks who sets up an entire desktop computer. And that was kind of the whole bit.
Right.
Is me slowly setting up a desktop computer. And it really,
Plugging in and
every
taking your
wire,
time.
and then like finally loading up. And I can't remember what the button was, but like, oh, what a funny reason to go to Starbucks to use your computer. And
Probably to jerk off or something.
probably. And like it starts like, we have a nice moment to set the scene, and me just kind of, at first you think like, oh, I'm just kind of a regular person. And then as soon as I bring out like the first big piece of computer, that's when you usually would get a laugh and dead silence. And so I like, I was just kind of like, well, guys, there's 4 more minutes of me setting this thing up, and you're not.
And you know
into
that in
it.
the moment, like, oh, if this didn't work yet, it's not going to work.
Oh, yeah, because
of course,
now every other beat of the sketch is the same thing. Like, it's just me putting together a computer.
Right.
Like, and that one was just,
Were you wearing any big wigs?
I was wearing a big wig,
You don't have
or probably like a bob, a fun bob cut.
which, by the way, doesn't ever add to the sketch.
No.
You just love characters.
It's just fun to be like, great, I'm going to dress outrageous right now. It's like the most fun about sketches being like, oh, okay, I got to wear this weird wig backwards to look as goofy as possible. And everybody's like, yeah. It's so wild. It's so fun.
I like got off track. I want to still hear this story of you moving here. And in 2008, and then taking classes at UCB, and then 2 years later getting on a house team, which people never get on a house team, let alone that fast. So that's.
I feel lucky because I was coming in right before the big improv boom or whatever. So
was that boom? Because I feel like I noticed it, and that was like that's where people started to go. Industry started to go to like meet people for like commercials for a lot of bigger like multicam characters.
Yes, and that was right when I got on. That was starting. Because at my very first Herald night, I got the next day an email to audition for a pilot Besser was shooting with Comedy Central.
Right, which you got.
Which I got, and it was just like, whoa, like such a Hollywood thing you hear about where like that doesn't really happen.
Was that your first job?
Yeah. My first job ever, and from that I got a manager.
Right.
And it was just kind of like, whoa.
Okay. My first job was Bill Lawrence saw me perform at the Hollywood Improv.
Yeah.
And then talked to me after, and I ended up booking a show with him. And I was just thinking like, yeah, that's what you do. You move to LA, you go up to the Hollywood Improv, you get discovered, you get on a show.
Yes.
And there was something very romantic about it.
Yes.
And backwards, how it seems for you, where normally you think you got to find a way to get an agent to audition.
Yeah.
But I didn't have an agent or anything until I booked my show. It's easier to book a show than get an agent sometimes.
Yes, I had a manager, and then years later booked a show, and from that they were like, "Okay, now you get agents." And I was like, "Okay."
So you get on this house team at UCB.
Yeah, which is Bangarang.
Yeah, that was the first one you got on. Oh, you've been on it for 8 years, 9 years.
9 years, I
Whoa.
think. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah.
And how much of the turnaround? Is there any other original people on it?
So, Tony, Ryan Meharry, Ryan Stanger, and Dave Tooney.
Ryan
and
Stanger,
myself.
I'm going to have on.
Great!
On soon.
Yeah, we've been no, Ryan and Dave weren't on the first year, so we've had quite a turnaround.
And who's in charge of this? Like, because it's UCB, it's not
UCB.
Is there like a president, a captain?
There's an artistic director
one per team.
No, for the whole theater, and then they have big auditions once a year with pretty much a committee of teachers and performers being like, "Oh, that person's good," whatever.
How many people audition? How many people get it?
Oh, a lot of people audition, and not
like 100
more. Hundreds. I think when I started, it was around like 150, 200 maybe. But I remember when I was on Herald Night hearing about how it's like 400 people audition and they're putting one team together of 8 people or whatever.
So the audition is for a new team.
Yeah.
So every year a new
or
team
they
comes
like
on?
shift around teams and they're like, oh, this new person would be great on this, whatever. Like, it just kind of depends on the year, you know?
Let's say 2015.
Oh, I don't know any
I'm just joking.
statistics.
I'm going to get some more coffee. I'll
Okay.
be right back.
Okay.
And also, we'll be right back.
Want a cup of Wilkins coffee? What'll Mr. Wilkins do if I don't? Oh, he'll probably put his foot down.
Yeah.
You ever drink with a mustache?
I never, or probably a beer or some water backstage. So yeah. Ooh, the fall off, that was always fun in sketch.
What, when you smile
When
and
it
it comes
just
off?
starts coming off. Or pull, like sometimes Drew Tarver and I would just pull each other's wigs off,
During the show?
especially if we were bombing. Like,
So-
well, let's pull the wigs off. That'll get a laugh.
Something physical.
Yeah, something physical. When in doubt, always go
Of course.
physical. Fall down.
I could see when somebody, I have a friend, Amir, shout out to Amir, I'll have him on the show
Woo.
soon. Whenever he's doing something, even interpersonally, and it's not working, he does something, like he'll grab you or do something. It's like, oh, this is because you feel yourself bombing.
Yeah.
I do want to say, and the stickiest changes, that's what I said, you really use it once.
Yes.
But pro move, you don't put the ends of the mustache down.
Right.
Yeah, you know about this.
Yeah.
You have to have them come out a little bit because then you have more movement. Anyway,
You look good.
thank you.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about the mustache bit is I also use a puppet now. And when
Good.
it's hysterical.
Yeah.
And I come home at 12:45 after
Yeah.
I did my show, and I go to Greenblatt's by myself for some soup.
I love Greenblatt's.
I love Greenblatt's.
Oh
We
my
got to get
God.
them as a sponsor.
You gotta get them as a sponsor. We'll do a whole episode where we just eat
Greenblatt's
Greenblatt's and talk
over
about
trays.
it. Yes.
So I there's something just, and I don't feel lonely. Well, sometimes I guess lonely, but it isn't it isn't like me living a lonely life, and this is adding to it. It was me, just the awareness of how lonely this really is. When I get home at almost 1:00,
Yeah.
and I come in and I wash my hands,
Yeah.
I take my puppet out of my bag and I put it on where this table is. I move this around when I have a guest now.
Yes.
I put the puppet away, and then I take out the mustache out of my pocket, and I have to find what pocket it's in, and it's stuck together. So I have to unstick it, peel off the sticky tape,
Yep.
reapply a new thing
Yep.
before I even get undressed. And there's something about that 1 a.m. mustache reapply where it's like, fuck me, man. Like,
It
these are my
feels-
jokes.
Yeah. It feels so just like this is such a weird reference, but so Ebenezer Scrooge.
Go ahead. I feel like I could see what you're saying.
Of just this is what I do when I get home from the long day at the bank
Right.
or wherever he works. I eat my soup,
At the
I
bank.
count my money, and I go to bed.
Uh-huh.
That's just kind of what it's reminding me of just okay, I got my soup, I put my puppet down, I fix my mustache, and then I can eat, and I could go to bed.
The thing is, I spend so much time on this craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this silly mustache and
Yeah.
puppet. It's my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I do it, I
Yes.
realize how silly it is, but how important it is to me. There's
Yeah.
something like, if things go really well, I could romanticize that and be like, how funny and cute. And if it doesn't, it's like, I spent years with puppets and mustaches and wigs and podcast equipment.
I'm right there with you. We had to have my roommates and I a few years ago had to do a great big sketch costume get rid of, where we just went through and we're like, hey, we don't need this broken umbrella. Sure, it looks funny, but it's just a piece of fucking broken metal now. We had to go through and just get rid of everything because it did get to that point where it's like, I can't have all of this shit around that I don't even really use anymore.
Do you when you started working, do you feel that once you started working, I have this made up idea of you that you're just working all the time? Like you're just random things.
Yeah, random stuff and yeah.
And is that kind of true? Like there's
Yeah, for the most part.
Which is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
But 2, is there a dream or a goal that you had before you started this, and has it changed up till now?
Yeah, I mean, my
I know
goal,
SNL.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest one.
Still.
Where it what? Well, I guess no, like because I've always. Well, growing up, I only thought SNL was the way to become a comedian. Like I didn't understand that it's like, oh, like I thought like, oh, in order to get your own show after that, like your own sitcom or whatever.
Meaning you're number one on the call sheet, like your own thing or
yeah,
something?
Yeah, I guess so, pretty much. Like you have to do either stand-up or Saturday Night Live. Or
Kinda.
both could go, like that's
Or
kind
write
of
it.
what it was. And then
Right.
when I got here and I started kind of working and just seeing people who I looked up to at UCB start to sell their own shows and being like, wait, that's so cool. That's what I want to do. And then I just started like kind of learning more about SNL and how it works and realizing like, oof, I couldn't do that.
You couldn't do
Physically
what?
and mentally couldn't handle being on SNL.
Because of what
Like
the
my
first few years,
anxiety,
what you've heard?
like everything. Yeah, because of what I've heard from friends who have worked on
Yeah.
it and stuff, it's just like, oh, I am not made for that environment.
Yeah, you don't like New York. You don't like
I
coffee.
hate New York. I hate
that's
coffee.
New York and coffee
Yeah,
constantly.
yeah, that's enough right
Yeah.
there. And so so it shifted.
So what is it now?
Now it is like it would be a dream to have like my own TV show where I am the lead and kind of get to be involved in every aspect of it,
Do you write this show and create it, or are you casting it, but they listen to you and you get to?
Like created but cast it. Because I still am not.
Do you write?
I'm trying.
Okay.
Gabrus and I have been writing a movie for like the last like 3 years.
Who is this?
John Gabrus. Do you know him? You should have him on. He's
John
the best.
Gabrus?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's awesome. But I don't consider myself like a writer.
Right. So what do you mean by have involvement? Just like
pretty much creating a show with my friends.
Yes.
And then from where they're like, we'll write it. But I still get to be there and pitch jokes and come up with ideas and stuff.
What's the show? Like what? You don't have to tell me a premise, but like what kind of tone is it? Can you compare it to something? Is it a multicam? Is it something darker?
No, it's single cam. Like I've always I want to make a TV show that's the vibe of Tommy Boy. So heartfelt but also fucking funny.
Right.
Where there are these really nice sweet moments, but then the comedy hits so hard. Does that make sense? That's kind of always the vibe of shows that I'm pitching and stuff.
Why don't you get the rights and create Tommy Girl, the show?
Tommy Girl, the show. I mean, that would be incredible.
It would be.
That would be scary.
It would be Little Callahan that we didn't know about. And
Yes.
and she just found out who her brother was because she went to this university where it took him 9 years to graduate.
Yes, yeah.
And then unfortunately, I don't know how you can't really have anybody in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is sad.
Yeah.
That's a sad pitch, dude.
When you hear something sad like that, do you ever feel? Let me not put this question on you. Let me tell you how I feel. If you connect it.
Okay.
There's when someone said you're having a good time, and then someone says and then he passed away, and then you have to go, oh man, and then you have to wait for the okay to get kind of back into it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Do you find that sitting in that silence is respectful, or do you find it's disingenuous? Do you understand the question?
Yeah, I totally do.
Do you understand the question? No,
I
I'm sorry.
get it, man.
Just what I asked.
Oh, you're blowing me away.
When I asked you, I just felt that sounded aggressive, so I leaned in.
No, I totally get it. I feel depending on the moment. Does that make sense? Because
I can't tell the difference.
I usually always am just a quick oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
And a lot of times people are quick on continuing what they were talking about or whatever, or oh yeah, it was whatever.
So which one are you? You do what? You say I'm sorry
I say,
quick.
I say I'm sorry and then let them kind of take on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if there's a long silence, I'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. That's such a bummer. I mean, bummer's not, I don't think, a respectful way to say it, but like, yeah.
That's the type of term that you would use for like, what was it, wiped out Wednesdays?
Yeah.
I had a work thing where we did this. It wasn't a table read, but it was a 4-table read. We all got together to read the script. It was very intimate, and there was no executives. There was everybody who was part. I mean, no like network there, right? So we're just reading it for the first time together and talking about how we feel about it afterwards, and we're being goofy and we're having a good time.
Yeah.
And one of the somehow Disneyland came up, and one of the guys said that he's always wanted to go to Disneyland but never went.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I have really good news for you. The guy, pointing to the person who created the show, said that if this gets picked up, he's going to personally take you and your parents to Disneyland. And then he's laughing like, I didn't sign up for this, but we know what's happening.
Yeah.
And then then the person said, oh, well, his mom passed away. His mom passed away. So it would just be the two, him and his dad. Okay.
Not getting the bit.
Yeah, well, or just getting it, but also like, yeah, we can't. I don't have parents. I have a parent, which incidentally wasn't a parent. Is that a pun? Anyway,
yeah,
and
hell yeah,
but not now.
Awesome.
No, not during the story.
Not
during the story.
Okay, as we said.
And then the person that was I'm intentionally not saying any names for whatever reason, but the person that was laughing about having to take him then went like, oh, I'm so sorry, right? And then everybody else who wasn't even part of it was down the line, I'm so sorry. And then I sincerely felt like that's fucking horrible. And then somebody asked, did it happen a while ago? And he goes, no, it wasn't even that long ago. Okay, so when that happens, a few things are happening. One,
oh no,
and most importantly, I am empathizing with how horrible this is.
Yeah.
While also seeing the situation that I created with work people that I just met from a joke that was unnecessary, and it just kept, okay, so I'm now not laughing because I'm trying not to laugh, right?
Of course.
But
because this could be like a bit, like this is a funny moment in a show. Like,
hey, he's taking you guys to Disney World.
Just piling up on you, just like, oh, it was a joke. I'm sorry.
And but it wasn't like, I didn't feel like bad that I made fun of something, because the joke was about Disneyland. It wasn't about family. But when you go, you can take your parents, and he goes, yeah, my mom's dead. And then I go, oh, and then someone goes, oh yeah, well, his mom's dead, but maybe she died a while ago, right? And he goes, no, it kind of just happened. And then I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
So then they're sitting, and it's 15 seconds of nothing, okay? Which means it's 15 seconds of me, dead mom, don't laugh, right? And then am I being fair? I feel like I'm not worried. I'm being insensitive right now, but I'm not saying any names. I'm worried that what I'm saying making sense? It's just an uncomfortable situation that you laugh in, right?
Yes.
So this continues, and then it's like, I wanted to say, that's horrible. I don't know if maybe we'll just continue.
Yeah.
We won't go to, but I felt like it wasn't my place.
Yeah.
So I deferred to kind of what you said of just, and then after the 15 seconds of silence, it was people, so tell me about her. And it was just very nice. It's very nice. And he's talking about it, and it's very lovely.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm projecting this. I feel I'm a good judge of this. I'm seeing people not care for as much as navigate the situation, which feels disingenuous to me.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's that's what made me think about this thing.
Yes.
And there's something about it where, like, I remember when my uncle had passed away last year, and we're all very, very close. But when people keep coming in and saying, he would have wanted you to celebrate the way he lived and it's like, he's watching you now. The sentiment is nice. We both know you're saying it because blank.
Yeah.
Don't just have a sandwich.
Yeah.
that's me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But in those moments, it's like, anyway.
It's so hard to know what to, because everybody's completely different.
But we're not saying it's not hard to know what we want to say. It's hard to know how it's going to be received and what the other person wants.
See, and I think it is hard to know what I want to, like.
This is how you feel, the truth.
Yeah, but even that's like, how do I put it? And I guess that's what you're saying is like, how are they going to respond?
Yeah.
How do I say how I feel?
And making sure they receive it properly.
Yeah.
And this is bigger than these moments. This is something I've talked about on this podcast a fair amount of times of like, how you doing? Good, thanks. How are you? That type of greeting, which feels disingenuous to me. It's like, I don't think they're mutually exclusive, but there's a fine line between being respectful and being honest and genuine.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if I'm saying something so you receive it a certain way, it feels manipulative to me.
Okay.
And it almost feels, not almost, it does feel kinder and easier for me to be able to just acknowledge things.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went on a little
Because
bit of a
there are
rant.
sometimes those moments where just to kind of like nod to you is enough to be like, yeah, I get it. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I get it. Or just a hug or whatever is enough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, because every person is completely different.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like, oh, okay, he would want you to live he would want you to celebrate his life. Is just like, that is exactly what people want to hear.
Is it?
No, I think some people think that.
Yeah, but does anybody want to hear that?
I bet some people.
I guess if they've never heard it before.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, listen, you love your birthday, I'm sure. And it's nice that people are thinking about you. But like, if you're at a dinner, okay, and someone says, hey, happy birthday, Betsy. And then, hey, yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday. Relax. I'm thinking of so many examples of this now. When at a table and the waiter or waitress comes and fills up my water, and I say thank you, and then everybody at the else table says thank you.
Oh, yeah.
For my, I don't know. Is this?
For your water.
People feel the need to do something not for them but for the other person.
Yes.
And it gets muddied. It gets muddied.
And then there's the switch of feel the need to do something for themselves, which also at times feels ingenuine. Does that make sense?
Give me an example.
Kind of that idea of like, well, I posted this thing about, I don't know, politics or whatever, like I posted this thing, so you guys should all know. And it a lot of times to me feels like, just kind of depending on the post or whatever and what is written, like kind of feels like, oh, it feels like you're just doing this more for yourself than actually for
you're saying to be part of this community of people who are spreading awareness of something?
Yeah. Or the thing that you're posting, like if you're saying a thing about a cause or whatever, you're posting something about a cause.
Right.
And just being like, you guys should all join. Like, there are moments where it's like, that feels like it's just more for you.
What, for you?
Than for the actual cause. For you to feel good about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Now
yeah,
that
almost all posts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. And it is like, yeah, let's spread the word. But there's so many moments where it's just like, and then also when speaking to some people where it's like, oh, well, then did you donate or did you volunteer? And like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, but you should read this article where it's like, oh.
Did you even read the article?
Then if you're all about this cause, then show it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you post about it. I don't even care if you say you did. Like, you don't have to post that you did volunteer.
It's almost
like
it's like trend philanthropy.
Yeah.
It's like I'm doing this because it makes me look a certain way or be a certain way to people. And yeah, I mean, but also then it's like I saw a whole bunch of them with I don't know, I'm making this one up because there's been so many, but like when sometimes abortions are hotter than other times, you know what I mean? Like when a bill is being passed or being presented or whatever, it's like these moments matter, right? And that's true. But I see certain people like posting stuff where I'm being told judgmental, but like, you've never posted anything about any of this, and you talk openly about just blasting in people. And it's like, I don't know what's right or wrong. I just feel, and also feel like, well, even if they're just doing this to look good, it is nice to get the cause out, but I do judge it.
Great to get the cause out.
If you've only posted about abortions one time when there was a hashtag that came out, I don't know how I feel about it. Not that you have to live this is my body lifestyle.
Not at all. Yeah.
But like, and also when they're going down to the marches and just, I can't tell, are you spreading awareness or are you showing me you're at the march?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not at the march, so who am I to say? But I'm not saying go to the march. Go to the march, though. Everyone go to the march. The march is great.
Go to the march.
The march is great. You should go to the march. But
it is just, it's so tricky. And like, just that from where this start of that idea of like, yeah, it's really tricky. I mean, it's so tricky because we're all different. We don't know what's going on in anybody. Like, I don't know what's going on in your mind.
We'll cut to a clip.
Whoa! Wow, dude. Wow. But yeah, I don't know what's going on in your mind. Well, now I do. But it's really, it's tough. Like, as soon as I said that, like, started talking about posts, it's like, well, I don't know. People are, I don't know.
I think the main thing is people don't know themselves that well to where they're trying to, like, we all have a narrative about ourselves, and a lot of it is something that we're selling.
Yeah.
We want people to believe this thing because we feel value from it for whatever reason, or shame on the opposite end.
Yeah.
But when there's something about selling something to other people that I'm very sensitive to, and I have my reasons for this, but it's just I'm just very sensitive to it because you're just doing this so I'll think something.
Yeah.
You know, hey, how you doing? It's really, really nice to see you. It's like, don't squint. How excited. And it's fine. It's fine to just be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
But like, man, it's been too long, man.
Yeah.
I just, fucking hell, man. Now I have to do that or I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
I was squinting when I saw you. Why weren't you squinting? Is there some beef?
Yeah.
And it's just hard to navigate that. So when it's in something that there are some stakes to, like someone's family member died, and now they're asking questions, and then the way that ended was it was a couple minutes, and then someone brought up that dog that came in the room the other day or earlier, and I stopped myself from saying good save.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do this dog thing minutes ago?
Yeah, we should have gotten to the dog a while ago. We love that dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so it's hard. It's tricky being a human.
Amen, man.
It's hard.
Or a woman.
Everybody is or a woman.
That was off the amen, not a human. I wasn't going human or a woman. I was going amen or a woman.
Oh.
Would you say that was funny?
That was very funny.
Thank you. All right. How is this going?
Good.
Yeah?
Are you feeling good?
I do feel good.
Okay.
I'm feeling insecure isn't the right word. But it's the closest thing I could come to. Unsure of. George tells me not to say this stuff.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay, I won't.
Have confidence. It's going great.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we have to just to end this. I would like to do a scene with you.
Okay.
And I'd like to try and do a scene that is we're improvising it, but it's not a funny scene.
Okay.
Okay?
A dramatic
scene.
Okay.
And we'll put in a little music.
You're drinking again?
I mean, thanks for coming over to do this with me, but podcasting is tough, and taking a little swill takes my mind off everything that's been going on.
I mean, you've been using that excuse for everything lately. Everything you need to take your mind off of, so you start drinking. Come on, man. Can't we just do a nice sober podcast for once?
Listen, all my friends died.
Hey, I'm sure they'll want you to celebrate their life more than mourn it.
Well, I wanted to celebrate it by having them on the podcast.
Oh.
And none of them.
Do you mind if I ask when and how?
Recently?
Oh, no.
They all died from something different.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I feel like you should have just canceled the podcast for a while until you feel better.
I established that I'm doing them every Monday.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to edit any of this out.
I worry, I feel bad commenting about people posting.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's like, I don't know, maybe they feel good about it.
Okay, and here's a
I feel
perfect
bad 'cause
example
it's like,
about
who
this.
am I supposed to fucking...
Here's a perfect example about it. This is a way you truly feel, but you're worried about it getting out there because of how people will receive it, and I think that is a problem. I mean,
Yeah.
It's if you're not a good, if you're not a good person,
Yeah.
then maybe the things that you believe suck. But like, if you trust your moral compass, and I feel like you're a great person, I also connect very strongly with what you're saying. What's wrong with having an opinion?
True.
Also, if you want me to edit anything out, I did bleep out champion or not. That was the only thing I think we edited.
Shh! Spoiler, dude!
But they don't know which one.
True.
Which one was
Not.
which?
Yeah, who knows?
Dude, this is where I get in my head.
No, keep it in.
Okay.
Because I feel that, like, there are just moments where it's just like, chill out.
With
this
what?
is more for you. Just people.
Are
in
you okay?
general.
Are you okay with the stuff you said about the post stuff?
I think so,
You
yeah.
didn't say
Are
anything
you cool
specific.
with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
People stop. Yeah. I'm grossed out by it. I have friends that I look at them a little bit differently, not just because of that type of post, but do you have friends on social media that are super funny, but on social, you have friends that are super funny, but on social media, not only
They
are they
have a
bad,
whole different...
it's a little like superficial. Like,
Yeah, and it really blows my mind. And also there are moments where it's like, hey, anybody can see this.
everybody that you know does see this.
Like, and this could mess up chances for work and stuff. Like,
Oh, you're
sometimes,
talking about like scandalous stuff.
no, not even scandalous, but just like friends, like social media voices. Sometimes it's like, what? Like,
Yeah.
hey, chill out. Like, you're really taking down this industry that you are a part of. Like, you know, kind of that, like, mom stuff. Me being a mom, being like, hey, just be careful.
Yeah.
Because people I think you want to work with might see this and...
Are you talking about people that are saying negative things or just making themselves look bad? Because like when I see people posting this kind of stuff, like, you know, on a step and repeat or something, and then like saying thank you so much to all the people that helped them dress that way.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you know, show a picture of them then.
Yeah. Well, I have, like, there are just a few people I know that where it's like, in real life, they're just great, funny, talented people. But then on social media, they're so, like, what's that? Like, cynical and negative.
That's what I thought you were saying,
and,
right. Talking about the job they didn't get or this person got or saying how much a
Yeah.
project sucked.
Yeah, or like, yes, exactly. Where it is just like, hey, man, we're all trying our, like,
Yeah.
and you're not like this in real life.
Or they're
Or
hiding
maybe
it.
you're hiding it.
I think social media is actually a very good magnifying glass into the subconscious of people because they get to be themselves with having the guise of like, I'm going to caption it so I could have people see it the way I want them to, but we all see it the way we're going to see it.
Yeah.
I think you really could tell a lot about somebody by their social.
Yeah.
You also bring up a good point. You said something that Dax Shepard said, which was he said he doesn't, on his social, he doesn't ever say anything bad about people's artwork. And I don't think it's a moral decision. He said that talking about himself, I know what it takes to create something and how
Yeah.
many years you put into something.
Exactly.
And it's really, 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 really hard. So when someone does something and it doesn't come out well, it's they tried so hard.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do, and I just took that as like an actual rule that made sense. People tried so hard at this thing.
Yeah. And I post a lot of like on my story, like fun clips from like awesomely bad horror movies, but it's all pure love. It's not at all, because it is like, whoa, they made a fucking movie that I love and I watch more than I'll watch any Star Wars. Like I'll watch a bad, like I love you. It's all out of love, but I feel that like,
out of love.
and like sometimes, you know, there'll be moments when I'm mad at someone for like driving bad or something. I'm like, I should post a picture and be like, this guy sucks or whatever. Then it's like, but why? Who cares? I don't want somebody posting a picture of me. Or, you know, like, I don't know. I get very just like, oh, I don't need to.
Yeah. I think that people don't realize that we're not just looking at the thing you're saying. We're looking at the fact that you noticed it and wanted to share it.
Yeah.
And like the easy example is when people show pictures of them with their shirt off or in a bikini, and they look, which is nothing wrong with looking awesome, but like say, look how fucking dope I look.
That's what it
you
is.
know?
Like I want that more of like, hey, I fucking look good.
Yeah. As opposed to, you know, what would your version of that be that you've noticed?
I don't follow too many people who take their shirts, but of just like, here we go Mondays or whatever, and it's just like, just say I'm fucking hot.
Yeah, here we go Mondays.
Like like just be I was screaming at like my Mono Agapian, who I live with, and he's my best friend. He's best. We've been screaming at commercials like Lexus commercials and like Jim Beam commercials, trying to be like, we're like the fanciest. And it's like, just say we make fucking products that look fucking cool or fuck you up. Like, that's all it is. Like, don't bullshit us. Just get to it being like, Lexus, we are fast cars that look cool. You want
that's a
that,
great
right?
That's
and
a
it's
great
just like,
commercial.
yeah, man. That's all we want. Or like Jim Beam, you drink us to get fucked up. Or whatever it might be. Just get to it. Like,
that's what we're saying. That's the whole idea of like being the thing instead of trying to make people see you a certain way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we solved how to be a human, dude.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So
it's tough, everybody.
So when somebody tells you something that happened, give them the respect of not the action that you need to do for it, but to have the moment of empathy, whatever that is for you. That if that's you going, or if it's you asking a question, or more, you saying, I'm sorry, if you want to connect and relate with something, whatever's genuine to you, do. And then once it's done, go, that dog was fucking, then let's get back, baby.
And let's get back. For everybody's sake.
Yeah. And if you're posting a picture.
Unless like that person then opens up, then it's game on of like, please.
100%.
Please open up to me. But if it is kind of like, bring that dog up, dude.
That's because if they open up, it's about them. It is about them to begin with. Don't make it about you.
Yeah.
It's about them and their situation instead of having to. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for coming over.
Oh my God. Thank you for having me.
Say again where people could see your podcast and any social media.
One is on Patreon, and that's called We Love Trash. And then another one is on HeadGum, but like iTunes and all that, called A Funny Feeling. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Betsy Sodaro and Twitter at Birdie So Dirty.
When are the Bangarang shows?
Bangarang every Friday night at 8.
You
UCB
gotta.
Franklin.
If you're living in LA, sincerely.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that have never been to an improv show, and also maybe you're familiar with this, but there's people on both sides. People say, stand up. I hate going to stand up, or improv. It's the worst. Bad comedy is horrible.
Yeah, bad comedy,
but when
good,
it works, and the Bangarang show, it's so good.
Thank you.
So check out that show Friday nights. You just go to ucb.com, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think ucbtheater.com.
And also, I want to ask you about Patreon, because I was thinking about getting into it. Will you explain to me how you feel about it and how people receive it?
It's been great. I personally don't do any of that part. Mono does it all, but it's been really awesome.
Yeah,
and people like it.
Do you have multiple tiers?
We did not, because we didn't know how to do that, but I have other friends who do, and that seems like a really rad way to do it.
Part of me doesn't. A big part of me doesn't want to do it because it's like I don't want. It just feels like I'm taking advantage. And then the other part is if I am doing it and I'm making that content, you get paid to do it.
Yeah.
So I've just gone back and forth, but all my friends that have podcasts do Patreon.
Yeah.
And I've asked people, and people want to see more stuff. So I'm thinking about.
I think go for it.
Okay.
And because both, like, I was a little hesitant too of just like, oh, I feel kind of weird doing this. But then it's like, oh, and Manu and I, this podcast came out of another podcast that kind of bit the dust, where we had like 80 some episodes or something out. And so Manu was like, well, they have all of those episodes that they can listen to for free. And then, but now if they still like it, they can come to us. And so, because I was at first like, oh, I feel a little weird.
Yeah.
But then it's been great. And it's like, oh, yeah, it's fun. And people are pumped to pay the artists, you know?
It's also like, I've been doing everything for free for so long,
and
it
Mono
feels
said
like
that,
the normal thing.
yes.
But I put in over 30 hours a week on this thing.
Yes,
It's like there's nothing wrong.
Mono said that exact same thing. He's like, also, we do comedy and stuff for free constantly.
Yeah. So
And-
we're just
and-
used to that.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much free stuff, and this is what it is because it feels like I want to practice, I want to get better,
Yeah.
and that is true. But like.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally our job, and then you get a job, and then you get paid,
Yeah.
and then you for 10 months for the rest of the year, you're doing more work, and you're not getting anything.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is
I
great.
think go for it, dude. Do a Patreon.
So if my Patreon is up by now, you could go to the link here, and if you're listening, I'm not going to tell you the link. You can either have to find it or go to YouTube and find where the link is on this. I want to have you back on at some point where we get a little stoned.
Okay, great.
I would love to at some point have a few of my stoner friends come in, like maybe 3 or 4 of us, and just smoke and just do
That would
weird
be really
shit
fun.
and edit it down to the 10 minutes that's usable. You know what I mean? But
We were here for 7 hours and we got 8 minutes out of it. I love that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Betsy.
Thanks
and
for having me.
Thank you so much, everybody. And as always, have yourself a fantastic week. All right, classmates. Have the music come in.
Oh, great. That's good. Or just keep it silent for now.
It's better if music. I mean, maybe I'll have the music.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue.
Could you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play it now.
Scoop dee. Oh yeah.